Hello and welcome to February's edition of Coach's Corner. In today's episode, we're going to look at your plan for 2021 and how to adapt to COVID. So let's be honest, 2020 was an absolute nonsense mess of a year for our industry. But within that, it's been both a positive year and a negative year. There's going to be some people have done really well, and those people that have done really well are just people that have been able to adapt. And then some people have not been able to adapt and they've been kind of caught out by the situation. And I do feel sorry for those people that have been caught out, but at the same time, we need to all have the ability to adapt to a certain extent. So some people that have done well, they might have had an online setup coming into, going into 2020, and then when we went in lockdown, they just focused online. Some people do like group classes. They've managed to accelerate because different software has been created, and they've been able to do online group classes, and really their business is booming because of that. Online programming, some people have been nailing online programming and doing at-home programs, so that's been going well. And then other people have just been doing PT in the park and taking their client base out park and avoiding gym fees. But then with some people, that's just not just been possible. If you're a city trainer and you live South London, for example, and all your clients live north and east and west, and you can't do PT in the park, and some of those might not want online programming because they've got no kit at home, and then you've had so that client base has gone missing a bit, and I can relate to that because that's happened to me. So with like these subjects, I'm always going to talk about things from my point of view and what I've done, and then hopefully with talking about what I've done, you can take something away from that. So if I wind back to April, just before in lockdown, my client base was very much people that liked training by themselves, so they'll do 3 or 4 sessions a week by themselves that I'd program for them for, and every time they'll come see me, we'll do like a technical session. So I had some CrossFit guys that would do 3-4 strength conditioning sessions by themselves, and then when they come to me, we'll be doing snatch work, clean work, muscle up work, handstand press up work, that sort of thing. And it was great because they was always working on the strengths and weaknesses by themselves, and then when it was me, it was all technical coaching, lots of coaching cues, lots of touch points, lots going on, and I used to absolutely love that. And then I'd have other clients that just wanted to get strong or chase performance or chase other metrics, and my client base was very much built around that. So when lockdown happened, me being in South London and working in the city, not all my clients live in South London, so they was all over the place, and a lot of my clients needed a lot of kit to kind of justify playing coaching prices, and they just didn't have the kit. So a lot of my clients kind of went missing for a bit because I didn't have much to offer them in terms of, right, I can't give you a barbell or stuff, can you get hold of any kit? They don't have kit, they don't want to pay to do a bodyweight program. So then some clients just went missing, and I can imagine a lot of people are in that boat where, especially the city trainers, where their clients don't have kit at home, so they didn't really know what to do with personal training. I had some clients that was able to buy kit. I teamed up with an equipment company and I was able to send clients kit, and as soon as I could send clients kit, I was then able to write better programs to do at home. So I could send them dumbbells and kettlebells. I had this package I made which was 2 dumbbells, 2 kettlebells, a mat, a skipping rope and some bands, and I was able to make a decent program from that. So my first priority within that lockdown was to get people kit and then get writing programs again and get those guys really up and running. My next priority, once lockdown happened and we could start teaching outside, was then, right, let's start reaching out to people around this area where I live, and then start training on the Common. And I was carrying kit over to the Common, and then that eventually went to you could train in people's gardens. So I actually built a gym in my garden, filled it up with barbells and plates and quite a few dumbbells, and then I was able people through my side gate into my garden with training. So then PT was very much up and running for me. Then what happened to and that was fine. And then what happened then? Things were normal, and then November suddenly hit and we was in another lockdown, which I just completely didn't see coming. And then we come out of the lockdown in December, got up and running again. I was back to teaching my courses at Gymbox. I was teaching my courses and mentoring at Gymbox throughout September, October and December. And then I was probably a bit naive to think that we couldn't go back into another lockdown. I actually thought November was it, and that was happening, and then the gyms would stay open forever. But what happened in just before Christmas is that we went in that another lockdown, a tier 4 lockdown, and we're not coming out of that anytime soon, are we? So I've had to adapt. So going into January, I was like, right, I've lost the majority of my programming that I would have done if the gym stayed open. So then I've had to just offer other at-home solutions. I'm still training on the Common, and I'm still writing programs that way. So I've just had to adapt exactly the same as you are. You've had to and a lot of my stuff's just online now. But with that, what I can do is I'm using this time to work on other little projects. I'm using this time to get better on camera. I've released a podcast. My YouTube channel's growing. I'm getting better at filming and releasing content on there. I'm having more of a focus on my PT social media. You might come to me via my PT manager social media, but I also have a PT page. So I've just been really focusing on stuff like that takes a lot of time. Stuff like that's important. It's important that you kind of are exposed and people can see who you are and what you offer. Because I remember seeing somewhere like you are who Google says you are. So if you've never done this before, go onto your laptop, go into private mode, and then Google your name and just see if you come up. Go to images, see if you come up, and if you don't come up, it's not an issue, but you're just not out there yet. Is your LinkedIn out there? That should definitely come up. Do you have an Instagram page? Do you have a YouTube channel? Do you have a Facebook group or Facebook page? These are all stuff that you can build now, and I've never been big on social media. I missed it when it first come out, so now I'm constantly fighting against the algorithm, but I'm just focused on making better content, getting better on camera, getting better at filming stuff. So I'm using this time to do that. My podcast is out, which has been going great. So that's very much what I'm doing, and that's my experience of this kind of lockdown at the moment and how I've adapted. And regardless where you are now, this is February's edition of the Coach's Corner. So I always like to break the year down into quarters, and that's one of the biggest advice I can give to PTs is to break your year into quarters and work one quarter at a time. Within that quarter, have not just your own fitness goals and stuff, but have proper business goals that you want to hit, and then work your ass off to make sure you hit them. So it depends what time you see this video. You might only have 6 weeks left, 4 weeks left, 2 weeks left. But I think it's important that you set yourself a solid goal per quarter and then aim to hit that. And just make sure you don't ever waste time. So with that, with not wasting time, I think it's important to have a reality check of where we are as an industry and what we should be focusing on right now. So a bit of reality check is the 8th of March is, by the time I'm releasing this video, 8th of March was the earliest that schools could go back. So our gym's going to go back on the 8th of March. It's not like I know, but I'm mentally prepared that they're not going to go back on the 8th of March. More likely 1st of April, 5th of April, whatever that Monday is. I think it's Monday, 5th of April. For me, is the earliest gyms will go back. But at the same time, I'm not surprised. End of the day, vaccines are flying out. They're doing thousands and thousands of people a day. Whilst we're in lockdown, I know if the gym's open, people can be healthy. But at the same time, they're pumping vaccines into people. The more people they put vaccines into, the highly likely we're going to come out of this quicker, right? That's what they want. So if the gyms are shut to the 5th of April, I'm expecting that. But also, if they come up and say 1st of May gyms can open, I still wouldn't be surprised. And I think it's important that we have that reality check, have that in our mind that gyms might not be open in March, they might not be open in April, they might not even be open till May. And you've got to see that as that's okay. You've got a plan. You just got to have that positive mindset and just be aware that might happen. And if it does happen, what are you going to do about it? What's your plan A? What's your plan B? What's your plan C? So I think one of the priorities we should all be doing and things we should be focusing on before the end of Q1 is outreach. Do people know who you are? When the gym's open, let's say the gym's open in April, are you ready to kind of shoot back up to 25 sessions a week? Have you been in touch with your clients? Have you been sending newsletters? Have you been active on social media? Do people know what you offer? And you need to be going back into the gyms with an idea of it might be busy. It probably won't be straight up to capacity of where it was before. Things will be different when you go back. But also, I think we all need this hybrid model now of have the ability to train people online, train people outside, write just programs, and then do the one-to-ones in the gym. So I think we all need to look at our business model, focus on outreach, and then have a plan A, B, and C based if the gym opens in March, April, or May. And one thing we should do is remain positive throughout this. It is a bit of a rubbish time, but we need to be willing to adapt, have a hybrid PT model when the gyms do open, off doing PT in the gym, doing some online programs, people still train people at home that are going to stay at home, and kind of have that as an option. Look at your business plans and just have this plan A, B, C. And what you should be doing now is using your time. Really use your time, really getting organised, really do all the behind the scenes admin, work on something yourself, work on self-development, work on talking on the camera and getting better at films and stuff, because that's all going to add up when we do open. And when things eventually go back to normal and it's 100 mile an hour, you need to make sure you use this time so when you do get there, you are back up to full speed. But let's look at what's going to happen when the gym's open. So things will be different, right? Some of the city clubs will be quieter for a while because people will still be working from home. Some of the city buildings might not reopen again, so there might be less people in the city. There might be more people working from home, less people commuting in, so the numbers are not going to be there. Some gyms might not reopen. You might have to relocate if your gym does unfortunately close. So you need to be looking at gyms in that area. Are you going to stay in the city? Are you going to move out? What's going to be your options? I think things will change in the fitness industry a little bit. I think people will be wanting to get back into the gyms and get into that environment again. They 100% will. So we just got to make sure we're ready, and we only focus on the positives going forward. And there is quite a lot of positives for our industry because people are missing it. They do want to get fit. Some people that have been working full time from home, they've not been spending any money. They've not been going out, so they might have disposable income to invest in themselves, to focus on their health and fitness. And if that's the case, then that's a perfect time for us to be able to offer one-to-one PT and offer our services. So some people will be eager to get out of the house, get into the gym and look for structure and support, and that's something we definitely offer. So my biggest takeaway from this episode is to break your year into quarters and have just a business goal for that quarter. It don't matter where you are, and by the time you see this video, look at quarter one, make a list of things you want to achieve, and then try to tick that off. If you've got 4 weeks or 6 weeks by the time you see this video to the end of quarter one, you can achieve a lot of business stuff in that time, and then you start planning out your quarter two. And I like to make a campaign for the year and kind of have a focus for each quarter, and then I'll go into detail and break that down a bit more. But yeah, stay positive and keep adapting to the changes. The point of this video is for me to share my journey and how I'm adapting. And in all the other episodes, I'm going to get people on and we're going to give kind of like tips of what else you can do. But I hope you've had a good start to 2021. If you haven't, it's fine. There's always time to turn it around and to get a second wind. There's some positives, there's some negatives, but as personal trainers, we should be positive people. We should always look for that positive outlet. If you're going through a shit time, it's fine. Feel free to reach out if you don't know who to reach out to, because it is fine. I totally get it. And only one good thing is that we're all in this bloody boat together, so at least we're all going through the same thing. But things will get back to normal, and this year they will get back to normal. And when they do, our industry will be booming because people will be unfit. They would have missed structure in their life. They're going to be missing the gym like mad. They'd have picked up injuries from sitting down too much and being in rubbish desks at home. And there'll be an opportunity for our industry to really grow, and that's a big positive coming our way. But between now and then, it's all about us focusing on self-development, growing and exposure. Big push on outreach for the next 6 weeks or so. Let your clients know what you're about, let them know what you're offering, start a newsletter, and get communicating with people, so when it does open, you're not just out the blue saying, hey, you're already there. When they think of fitness, they think of you. Okay? Well, I hope you found this useful. Any questions or any support needed, you can drop them in the comments on this page, or you can just message me directly. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you in next month's episode.